Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we are starting the game The Black Mirror. Now this has nothing to do with the Netflix TV series called The Black Mirror, which is a reference to cell phones being a black mirror when they're turned off, or at least being misperceived as a black mirror. This is a horror story point-and-click adventure game that came out in 2003 and is getting rebooted, remade, re-released. Not a re-release, it's at least being remade by THQ Nordic, which is a company that you're going to hear more and more about, but they're probably just going to change their name to THQ, which was an old company that went out of business. And so in November, you'll see that the Black Mirror is once again out and new, and it will be slightly more polished than this 2003 version. The company that made this game is a Czech company. Let me double check the name here. It was made by Future Games. That's why I didn't remember the name. It was too generic. And this is kind of the best game they ever made. They made about 5 others, and the last one was in 2010 called Alter Ego, and they ran out of business. They ran out of money, so they went out of business. Then there was a company that came in and made the Black Mirror 2 and 3. So this is a pretty long-running series, and unlike most point-and-click adventure games, this one actually has some length to it. So this is a full, if not AAA, at least AA game, at least for the 2003 timeline. Audio, spoken word, and sound, I'm leaving them at default and adjusting audio in the Windows volume control, and I turned on subtitles. Gamma I'm going to leave the same, so hopefully that works for everybody. 2003 game, it does have black bars on the side. We're at a 4:3 ratio. That's always unfortunate, but you know, for a 14-year-old game, it's to be expected. I would guess probably 10 years is the cutoff at which point games should have at least begun to have widescreen options. And that's kind of all we need to know, because the story is going to be told to us in the game, hopefully. So let's just begin. Nice animation, even though in a small framed window. I've certainly seen a lot worse. Overly smooth animation here, but it looks good for the age. I'd much prefer very smooth character models versus low polygon character models that you would see in something like the first Tomb Raider.
It was not easy for me to find fitting words for these first lines that I hope you are reading, as well as it was not easy to find out where you were living. I hope that my letter will reach your hands as soon as possible, as there is not much time left. Since your departure, I have contributed all my efforts and endless hours of sleepless nights looking for the truth about our family. I feel that I'm already very close to beholding its full face, and I am concerned that I might not have the strength to look at it alone. Therefore I am turning to you, Samuel, for I know that you will hear out my plea.
Audio is going to play a big part in this game. It was highly revered for its audio and visual elements.
Ring of our heritage. It is very important that you always have it with you. Take extraordinary care of it. Please return to our manor and help me. I know my time is closing in. I can feel it. I am afraid.
What you probably can tell is that that animation was not done in engine of the game. That would be asking a lot for a 2003 game. There, it went back to the menu and then loaded chapter 1. Interesting. Now for this Halloween Return of the Future. ...
After the funeral, we jointly returned to Black Mirror. The journey through the desolate countryside seemed endless. No one spoke a single word.
It almost seems like it should be Black Manor.
They were full of deep sorrow. It wasn't merely grief, however, that was in our eyes. It was also a certain alienation that Victoria and Robert felt towards me. My unexpected return after more than 12 years gave them the freedom to ask all kinds of unspoken questions.
I am truly sorry about what happened.
Thank you, Hines. I don't know what else I should say. William was everything to me, and now...
You need not say
It looks
anything.
very low frame rate, very laggy here.
It's a sad day for all of us.
And the animations are
I think
stiff.
I will leave you alone now.
I imagine this is an engine.
You don't have to go. You are a good friend to us, as you were to William.
I value your words. But
Nice
I think
pictures in the background.
Please be our guest, I beg you.
Pretty high detail.
I will be happy to, if that is your wish. I would like
Now
to
they
skip
did
some
criticize
short
the
moments in your life, Rydo.
performances of the English voice actors, which is all you really get
I will
on the
leave you
English
alone.
version. Like that was pretty
Please,
bad
should
acting.
Hines need anything, please be of help to him.
Of course, you can rely on that, madam.
I do not want to sound harsh, but I think we should leave you alone.
You are empathic as usual, Robert. I want to be alone with my thoughts for a while.
That is quite understandable.
So I'm hoping this is just a
Would you see me to my
cutscene.
study?
Otherwise, it's going to make this
Oh, Samuel, please.
almost
I'd like a
impossible,
word
if not impossible, to play.
Certainly. Will you excuse me, Robert? We will talk later.
I will
This
be
is
in
a
my
lot
study.
of talking for a game this old.
Samuel, tell me, have you returned to stay with us for good?
I'm surprised he stood up and walked away. That's a lot of extra animation too.
Don't forget, we are still your family. You are a Gordon, and you belong here just like all the other Gordons before you.
Yes, I am well aware of that, but I need to put my thoughts in order. Perhaps then I'll be able to answer your question.
Oh well, I hoped you'd say yes. I'm not feeling well. Please excuse me now, Samuel.
Of course. I will go to my room.
Sir, I took the liberty to clean up your room. I believe you will be satisfied with the results. There is the key. Your suitcase is already in the
So you're gonna play as the guy on the in the brown coat on the left, and this is a 3D environment. We've been introduced to lots of characters already at the very beginning.
Victoria wants me to stay. Maybe I should have promised I would, but I haven't made up my mind yet. Maybe later. Bates has readied my room. I should go have a look.
Okay, so now we're into the gameplay, and so in engine you can see the animation is a little bit worse than what you would expect. And while generally speaking, some games that are 14 years old wouldn't really need to be remade, I can already see with the 4:3 ratio, with the rough underlying engine that's running this, you are going to have some trouble. However, that being said, you could probably take the 3D models and the background art and just touch it up a little bit, and you won't have to do that much. Or at the very least, you have decent reference art. This one room, for example, is full of detail that an artist wouldn't have to think up and create because they could just copy it and photo trace it. So let's click on the small table and see what happens.
This is where Bates leaves our mail. There is no letter now.
You kind of wish you could just turn on the Czech language and listen to it in its original language if it's going to be bad performances in English.
The founding stone of the original castle that Marcus and Mordred jointly laid in 1206. It's made of a single piece of some strange stone, charged with a peculiar kind of energy, as William would say. The atmosphere of centuries long gone can be felt around it.
So this castle apparently has some kind of magic to it. Good or bad magic, I'm not sure. Let's see what this card says. If I right click it, do I read it?
Morning card.
No.
The key to my room.
So there's this morning card. I imagine is kind of like an obituary. So to the dining room, to the library.
Marcus Gordon, the younger of the two brothers that began our dynasty.
It's a... Is there more to this, or am I simply just listening to music and looking at it? Apparently the music just starts playing when you do things, or we'll have something that interacts with this later. That must be a puzzle. So we could go to the staircase, to the dining room, to the library. I'm thinking this game will be a scarier version of something like Broken Sword, with the 3D animation that they tried to do in Broken Sword 3 and 4, but I'm hoping it's a little bit better. I've played a lot of horror games for this October month, and all of them have been a little lacking in storyline too, so I'm hoping for some of that. This certainly seems like something you're going to get later. I would like a deeper, more psychological experience than instead of some pretty just obvious, straightforward stories. There's a newspaper rack.
Today's paper. I'll have a look. Seems to be a note of some sort inside.
Seems interesting they would animate him bending over and picking something up.
I have only now received your letter.
That permanently drunken goof whom you have paid to be the messenger brought it late. I will take care of your parcel as usual. Do not worry. Fortunately, no one cares about anything in this godforsaken place. P.S. I suggest you give more money to that blockhead Mark next time. Maybe it will help him be more tardy.
Oops. Can I get that response? Nope. Well, I clicked twice and there goes that line of dialogue forever. That kind of sucks. Victoria's room, the study. This is a lot of house.
Sent this one to William.
This is a lot of house. 2 chairs and a table.
I used to play chess here with William. I remember him teaching me my first moves as if it were today.
Now, we are in kind of a weird position because the truth is we don't know what we're really doing or what we're really fighting, so there's no real guidance other than just go to our room.
William's favorite canvas. Someone from the family painted it about 300 years ago.
300 years. This is kind of the exact opposite of the Black Mirror Netflix series too, because that's all about things in the future.
I can open it.
You can hear a clock ticking. See, we know something's mysterious, but we don't even know what it is.
Changed at all, as though I were only away for a few days.
Like, so the
Welcome
mirror
home, Samuel.
has been broken this whole time, and nobody bothered to fix it.
Catherine would comb her beautiful hair in front of you every morning. It's best not remembered.
So it seems like he had a wife or a girlfriend who died, and that explained him leaving. Then we get into some zoom ins, so let's see what the photos say. Catherine, I imagine. Apparently she died in a fire.
Catherine. A collection of old pictures. I don't want to remember that time. I'll leave it alone.
And this right here looks like something, but it's not actually anything to deal with. This is going to be not much of a pixel hunt experience if I can just get the mouse cursor, which I don't even know what that is supposed to be. Is that supposed to be a pointer with a circle on it, or like, seems a little weird design. But as long as I can get it to go red over things. This place has no plumbing, apparently.
The night silhouette of our castle. William's portrait of my dear Catherine. She died in those horrible flames. And it was my fault. I will never forgive myself for that.
So we're getting some backstory through the
The
pictures.
drawings of the Gordon Manor in Wales. William drew those when he lived there as a young man.
Seems like William painted half of these paintings, which is interesting. I guess the idea here is that modern games would tell you, look at everything in this room, find something in the room, or look at all the photos.
An old painting. I don't know who its author was.
All these paintings.
Holy Cross.
So we can't take the Holy Cross with us, so we'll see.
Cool in here. I'll tell Bates to light up the fireplace.
And these people are rich, clearly, because they're not doing anything themselves. Apparently you can use the basin multiple times. And it seems almost like you can open the bottom drawer. So let's go back here and see if that's the case.
It's locked. I only had a couple of things and an old camera in it as far as I recall. But where did I keep the key? I'll have a look around the room. It has to be here somewhere.
So I've hidden the key in the past.
I only have a few necessities in it.
So then we gotta double
I'll take
look.
pills in case my head starts to ache again.
Pills. Which might be part of the gameplay mechanic, might not be.
I'll surely need the wallet.
Now, I guess I need to right click to have seen what was in here. But right clicking's not doing anything.
I can't see anything interesting.
Alright. Fireplace. And door frame. Apparently. So I would guess then the door frame is where the key is. put keys
I cannot see that. It's too high.
very close to where they're needed. If I click on the bed while I go to sleep.
I don't want to rest now.
Door frame with, so I kind of need a step up ladder or something.
I cannot see that. It's too high.
Unless the idea would have been to.
There are some coins in it.
So you get some coins.
There's quite a lot of money in it.
And
I often have headaches these days. I'd better keep them.
let's see.
It's locked.
And it doesn't seem like anything's going to stop me from leaving.
The ticking of the clock echoes throughout the corridor.
So in a weird way, I guess I just am supposed to wander around.
A child's room used to be behind it. Now there are bare walls. There's no point in going there.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really certain how happy I would be growing up in the exact same room for a couple of decades. But I imagine you just redecorate and it's not a big deal.
He just had something brought in here. Jennifer, the wife of Tobias Gordon.
So we could go to Robert's study and talk to him, I guess. It seems to be front and center, so.
Robert, may I speak with you for a moment?
Of course. I'd be happy to speak to you. We haven't seen each other for such a long time. How many years has it been?
12, maybe more.
A long time indeed. I am happy that you have returned.
I have not come to stay. I came only to be here for William's funeral.
Really? That's a pity. I thought you would stay with us for a few months at least. Maybe you can still change your mind. So, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty weird too to have like all of your family members in this giant castle, basically. Let's ask some things, I guess. Ask about Black Mirror, which really should be Black Manor.
The castle is falling into disrepair. How long can it last like this?
It has been standing here for hundreds of years, when it is not going to decay anytime soon. It will outlive us, just as it has outlived our ancestors.
But the old wing is on the verge of falling down.
It was already on the verge of falling apart when I was born. Yet
Interesting.
it still stands.
Why hasn't anyone tried to restore it?
Oh, sure they have. About 100 years ago, Werner Gordon attempted to repair it.
Why are you saying attempted?
Well, he was not the first one who had tried it. The new structure never lasted more than a couple of years. The original castle foundations that Marcus and Mordred jointly laid are within those walls. It is as though the old stones do not want to accept the new ones.
Interesting.
Strange, indeed.
Like a haunted castle that the castle itself is alive. An interesting concept.
So what has been happening around here since I've been away?
Things are rather odd. I have no recollection of anything special.
Are there any new families?
No, I do not believe so. In fact, the only person who has moved here is Dr. Herman. We also have a different groom and a different gardener than the ones you knew.
I've been away for 12 years, and all that has happened is that we have 2 new servants?
Well, no one is clamoring to live around here. You know that yourself.
Yes, nothing really has changed. It's almost scary. What do you think about what happened to William?
That is a strange question. What should I think about it?
I don't believe it was an accident, let alone suicide.
I am afraid you are jumping to conclusions, Samuel. You don't happen to think it was a murder, do you?
No, but really, who would want to kill themselves in the autumn of their life? William was a very old man.
Look, William was alone in the tower when it happened, and the door was locked from the inside. A stranger's intervention is impossible.
So why didn't he leave a letter?
That I do not know, and I do not even want to think about it. Trying hard to get my thoughts away from William's death, and I absolutely don't feel like talking about it.
How is it possible that Robert is not at all interested in this? Am I the only one who wants to know the truth of what happened to William?
So we're starting with this mystery.
All right. Feel free to come back if you need anything, Samuel.
Interesting. So it's a mystery of who could have killed him. We're kind of assuming it was a ghost because of the way the first cutscene was, but it could have just been a person. That is something I haven't even thought about.
In the common room.
So you can't go into her room without. Alright. What else? We have the upper floor and the old wing. So if we can get in the upper floor and the tower.
Empty chambers further down the hall. No point in going there.
This castle just seems like it's huge, so big that people can just live there. I imagine, since this is a Czech game, there probably are some castles in, is it the Czech Republic now, or is it Chechnya, or maybe that's a different country. I imagine they do have castles that are very old and never changed, and that's what influenced him to do this, and it's a good backdrop. Let's go to the balcony. But we kind of are out of sorts too, because we needed a motivating factor. We needed the main character to just out loud say, I'm going to investigate this murder, and I'm not going to stop until I know who did it. And then like a goal or two, just missions.
William had his study behind those windows. If I want to find out what actually happened, I must get inside somehow.
So it required me to walk to the balcony before I even, and talk to the other guy before I even started to understand that that was what we were trying to do.
I hoped I'd never have to return here. I'll never forgive myself for Catherine's death, for which I was responsible. It should have been me that ended up in the flames, not her.
And so Catherine was in the old wing, and the old wing seems to be kind of cursed. Can we take a chair?
This one is long retired.
And yet the electricity is flickering. Yeah, if your electricity is flickering like that, though, you probably shouldn't have the power going to it. It's only a matter of time until it bursts into flames.
It's destroyed like the rest of the room because of the unfortunate fire many years ago. This place is making me remember all those horrible events.
Just ashes.
And you have the character here who's supposedly traumatized by all of this, but his acting is pretty poor, so he's giving off a odd response.
It's made of black marble.
It would have been probably better if they had just, like, if he had started crying or
There's nothing in it, just dust.
emoted in some way. So there's like nothing in this room, but in a room that seems to have nothing in it, they had 5 things to look at. That'll be slightly annoying
The door is locked.
if we run into more elements where the game is simply just kind of wasting our time with things to look at. And we never get really close up on our main character. And that kind of is a pain too. And since this so far has just been a mouse game, what happens when I hit escape? Well, absolutely nothing happens. Well, I would be silly to hit like F4 or F5 because any one of those might exit for real. And if escape is literally not going to bring up a menu, and up here doesn't bring up a menu, and down here doesn't bring up a menu, I guess there's just no menu in this game. Okay, well, that's going to be it for this recording. We'll start right back here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.